The children of Pantglas Junior School in the Welsh village of Aberfan had just returned from assembly, the last morning before half-term. Then the mountain moved. Within seconds, their school was buried beneath a wave of black coal waste. It wasn't a natural disaster. It was a tragedy that had been years in the making. Above the village stood Tip 7, a massive spoil heap built directly over natural underground springs. Water had been weakening it for years. Local residents had raised concerns, and officials had been warned that the hillside was becoming increasingly unstable. Those warnings were ignored. On October 21, 1966, after weeks of relentless rain, the hillside finally collapsed. A massive torrent of mud, coal slurry, and debris thundered into Aberfan, destroying everything in its path. It swept away a farmhouse and cottages before crashing into Pantglas Junior School, where hundreds of children had just begun their lessons. The school disappeared beneath thousands of tons of black waste in seconds. Parents, teachers, miners, and neighbors rushed to the scene, digging through the mud with their bare hands, refusing to give up hope. But as the hours passed, the reality became impossible to escape. In total, 116 children and 28 adults lost their lives, though bodies continued to be recovered for a week, with the last victim found on October 28th. An entire generation had been taken from the village. The warning signs had been there all along. If you had lived in Aberfan, would you have trusted the authorities to act, or would you have left? Let me know in the comments, because what investigators uncovered next was even more shocking. The official inquiry revealed that the National Coal Board had received repeated warnings years before the disaster. Officials knew the spoil tip had been built over natural springs and that it posed a serious risk, yet no action was taken. The tribunal concluded that the disaster was entirely preventable, condemning the National Coal Board for a chain of failures and ignored warnings. Yet despite the devastating findings, no senior official was prosecuted or removed from their position. Then came another heartbreaking blow. Money donated by people around the world to help the grieving families was later used to help pay for removing the remaining spoil tips above the village, a decision that outraged the community for decades. Today, the Aberfan Memorial Garden stands where the school once stood, while rows of white arches overlook the village, a lasting reminder of one of Britain's greatest preventable tragedies. Nearly 6 decades later, Aberfan still stands as a warning of what can happen when those in power ignore the signs of disaster until it's too late. Every place has a story. Subscribe to PinPoint for more real disasters, forgotten history, and mysteries from around the world.